Welcome back to Primetime Sports Monday. The Sports Development Foundation, SDF, is able to satisfy only about 40% of the requests it gets from sporting bodies for assistance. Figures obtained by TVJ Sports show that of the nearly $800 million in requests the SDF received in 2016, it could only satisfy just under $300 million. Karen Madden has been poring through the documents.
This is a special Primetime Sports Investigative Report. Now here's your reporter.
Eyebrows were raised earlier this year when Finance Minister Audley Shaw told Parliament during the budget debate that he could turn to the Chase Fund as the government looks for new income streams to shore up the consolidated fund. The money earmarked by the Chase Fund for Sports are passed to the Sports Development Foundation, from which sporting bodies and the government agencies make requests for funding. With many sporting bodies being turned down for funding, questions arose as to where was the government seeing a surplus. TVJ Sports obtained the figures under the Access to Information Act, which shows the lion's share of funds from the SDF in 2016 going to the Jamaica Football Federation. The JFF received $67 million from the nearly $151 million it requested. The Jamaica Athletics Administrative Association received $29 million. That's more than the $21 million it requested. The Jamaica Cricket Association requested $52 million in 2016 but only received just $24 million. Netball also got some support. It requested only $25 million and received over $18 million. National Domino Bodies requested over $10 million. It received a mere $2.2 million. The Jamaica Visually Impaired Cricketers were rescued last year with $3.6 million, more than the $2.4 million they asked for. Another body which received a fraction of what it requested was the Jamaica Amateur Gymnastics Association, which asked for over $30 million but received nearly $1.3 million. Basketball, which has been in the news recently, received $9 million of the $22.7 million it asked for. 38 sporting bodies benefited from SDF funds in 2016, while 4 government agencies received funding. The Social Development Commission received the lion's share, nearly $17 million, but that's lower than the $31 million it asked for. The Institute of Sports asked for a whopping $102 million, but received only $16.5 million, while GC Foster College, which asked for $76 million, received $9 million. Independence Park, operators of the National Stadium Complex, asked for $5 million and received just over $2 million. The SDF received just over $580 million from the Chase Fund in 2016 and disbursed over $796 million as some projects were carried over from previous years. The funds disbursed do not include requests the entities make for infrastructural development. In part 2, we hear from the principals at the SDF who shared with us the criteria used in dividing the scarce funds. Karen Madden, TVJ Sports.
That was a special Primetime Sports Investigative Report.